Yeah. Okay, great. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I am Sanjeev Mota from BNK Securities. On behalf of BNK, welcome to another session of our fireside chat. We have a very exciting company with us today, a company called Work India. Uh, they are in, one of the largest recruiters in the blue collar space. And most interestingly, what they say is everything that happens on the recruitment space, even in that blue collar space, is all on the technology platform. So it's be great. Actually, Kunal, who's the co-founder, Kunal Patil, he's with us. Kunal, thank you for joining us, and you know, love to hear from you. What are you all up to? And then I think you have some slides, so we'll talk about that, and then maybe we can even talk about in the end a bit also about what is the hiring scene here in India and so on. So, if that's okay, I think. Kunal, over to
Sure.
you.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Mota. What I'll do is we'll project our slides. I think there is some challenge in projecting the slides. Give me a moment. Let me just figure out the technology. Just one moment. Begin the share in a moment's time. Before I begin, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Mr. Mota, Deep, and everybody from BNK team. Ours is as they call it, an unusual journey, and let me talk a bit about that.
Yeah, I can see.
Wonderful. So, Work India is born for one purpose, is to provide meaningful livelihood to the 23.7 crore blue collar of India. Garib ko job at scale. That is what we are born for. Let me talk a bit about our journey. We are three co-founders, and of course today we are a 400-member company, and we started out in 2015. It's been 6.5 years we're in this industry, and the initial part of our journey, when we started with this whole idealistic approach that देखिए 23.5 करोड़ लोग हैं इंडिया में, इनको जॉब देना है, and the first challenge we encountered was the first 3 years there was just no traction on the platform. We were building a online product for a user who was not online. The blue collar worker just didn't have smartphone access. And so those 1,000 days were extremely difficult. We stuck around, and what we did was we said, ठीक है यार, अगर user नहीं है product पे, let's spend some time understanding our users, right? What is he? And we would go to pawn shop, bus stop, wherever, just to meet our users. And I will talk about some of the insights, but one thing that we came away from was the blue collar worker looks similar to us only in physical features. 2 eyes, 2 legs, 2 hands, but that's where the similarity ends. Their behavior, particularly on recruitment and in general, is very, very different. And I was amazed at how naive and ignorant we as white collar workers are about their behavior. And so for 3 years, we stuck around, built the product, and then suddenly Reliance Jio came in. Cheap Chinese smartphones came in, and our lives changed. We moved from being getting about 100 employers a month on our technology platform to today we get about 45,000 unique employers posting a job on Work India's platform. Very few people know that. There are 17 million unique app sessions which happen on Work India's platform. And today, close to 70,000 people get a job from Work India's platform per month. So you're talking about 800,000 people on an annualized basis, or 800,000 livelihoods created by Work India. Of course, we do it very efficiently, so our gross margin is between 75 to 80%, and that's no big shakes. It's because we are a 100% automated platform. So, but the critical part is the massiveness of the impact created. So that's about Work India. That's about us. To add, when Mr. Mohta's team reached out to me and said, why did you talk about this segment? I said, typically at most panels, people talk about, either very high macro level industry trends or data from research reports. And you guys as investors know it far better than I do. So I requested Mr. Mohta that this time today, let me talk about how does our user or the blue collar worker behave, right, at the grassroots level. So before that, who is our typical user? So our typical user, when we say blue collar, is a retail sales guy. आप जब भी Tata website जाते हो, तो जो salesman आता है, when you go to a DMart, the guy who's stocking up the articles. If you go to a van user, the salesman, the cashier, security guard, housekeeping, the guys who, excuse me, just one second. Housekeeping, the guys who see with the uniforms corporates, office boy, accounts executives, everything. You'll be amazed that a fresher accountant in India makes just about 12,000 rupees. Hugely low compared to some of the developed economies, and he comes almost in the blue-gray collar, not the blue, but the gray collar segment. Today, we have got 21 people who have installed Work India's app, and 93% of these are relevant. Relevant as in who have filled up our forms, used our job list page. On the employer side, the typical employer is, so about of the 45,000, the typical are a Kirana store, a sari shop, Xerox center. These are the guys who are coming online and posting jobs. 40% of the employers that we see come to our platform are first time. Online users, online payers. Google Pay, GPay, Phone Pay has made life extremely easy and smooth for them to transact online and commerce online. So this being our user, let's talk about what are our learnings from these users. First, when you interact with this segment, the first realization we have, whether you're an online platform or you interact with them face to face in person, you have to understand their deep-rooted beliefs to really build their trust. Example, देखिए, the white collar, जो intermediary होते हैं, we call them headhunters or executive recruiters, right? And they're from the premium white collar relies entirely on executive recruiters, right? There are these large firms like Egon Zehnder and Kelly, etc. To the white collar also, who really relies partially on the headhunters and partially on online platforms. But when you go to the blue collar worker, there is an extremely opposite behavior. They run away from the placement agent. They call it placement agent. They run away from the job intermediary. They run away from the job broker. And why so? When you go and ask them, you will find that somewhere either the blue collar worker or his uncle or his friend has been passed by a job broker saying, "यार 500 रुपए दे दे यार, 1000 रुपए." Mr. Mohta, I'm sorry if I intersperse Hindi and English. I hope that's okay.
Absolutely fine, yeah.
And somewhere, that intermediary has taken 500,000 rupees. Today they say, yeah, they'll become smart. So the intermediary say, yeah, form filling ka 200 rupees. But there's some scheme they have to fleece this blue collar worker. And this belief has been existing for the past 20, 30 years, 2-3 decades. As an online platform, if you don't solve for this belief, he is not going to trust you. Does this mean that every placement agent in this industry is cheating them? No. There are 500,000 placement agents in the blue collar industry. About 80,000 are registered. And a very small proportion is the guys who actually are fly by night and unethical. But the big perception is on an online platform, when the blue collar worker sees the name, it's a placement agent, मैं जाऊंगा नहीं. Second, in fact, let me talk about employment preferences. In the white collar, general belief is that a white collar worker will look for branded, all else being same, or unbranded. You would prefer an HDFC bank over an unbranded bank, and so on and so forth. And most people, when I speak to, come with this belief about the blue collar worker also. यार ये तो यार ICICI HDFC में पहले ले लेगा job यार, और यार he will not take it in Kunal Patil and company. That's not true. In fact, for the blue collar worker, the focus is the job profile. And then there are certain profiles which they are so much keen on that even if they are offered by a small SMB, that's what they want over even say a telecalling job in an HDFC. And I don't mean to single out a bank, but a telecalling job in a large corporate or which involves 8 hours of telecalling with target. So this whole perception that we had when we started our platform is, "Arey, bade brands leke aao," and they will, the blue collar workers will lap it up. We soon realized within 2-3 years that was a mistake. Third, smartphone spend. A typical white collar worker spends anywhere from 15% to max 40%, and premium white collar ends up spending 10% of their monthly income on a smartphone. The blue collar workers, we see minimum spend 1x or sometimes 2x of their monthly salary. Why is that case? And then we create perception they are monetarily reckless, they don't save. That's not true. When we started asking them why is this happening, they said a simple thing. They said, sir, आप तो पिक्चर के लिए जाते हो, खाना खाने जाते हो रेस्टोरेंट में, आप वेकेशन पे जाते हो, हमारे लिए एंटरटेनमेंट ये स्क्रीन है. And when you realize that, the next thing that they say is, because the screen is their key mode of entertainment, they typically buy large screen phones, and which correlates with a high price. Next, in the white collar, seldom will you see people moving across job profiles. In fact, LinkedIn works beautiful. If I am a research analyst, I would want to build that profile that I worked in a financial company for 3 years in this company and then this company, and I want to show people that profile. For a blue collar worker, that's not the case. For them, what matters is, am I getting $500 extra? And they are very willing to hop different sectors. We see, and we divide them into homogeneous and non-homogeneous sectors. Non-homogeneous are sectors which are skill-based. So a welder will become a welder and a plumber will be a plumber, and seldom will they move. But in homogeneous sectors, there's a huge amount of movement. Delivery boys in 6 months go and become an office boy. Again, in 6 months, become a field sales guy. In 9 months, will take up Hindi telecalling in one of these DSAs selling mobile phone cards. And there is no, in fact, if you go and talk to one of these guys and you ask them, is this your preferred job? Most often it is not. A delivery job is not always their preferred job. In like 12 months, they start getting a backache. They know that. So attrition is known, but what is not known is that attrition, there is a reason behind the attrition, and there is a lot of movement across homogeneous sectors, which never happens in the white collar segment. Tomorrow, today, if I'm an accountant, I'm not going to say, अरे यार मुझे 2-4-5 हजार रुपए ज्यादा मिल रहा है, मैं digital marketing करूंगा, and then 10,000 रुपए extra मिल रहा है, I'm going to become a coder. That's not the case. Next, I see a lot of research reports talking about, the smartphone penetration in the blue collar worker. What we miss out is it's not just about penetration. It's also about evolution. So if you look at Reliance Jio's numbers, right? Jio launched in about 2016 Q4. 2017 is when they had the formal launch after all the bugs and stuff. The first year they had 10 crore subscribers by about 2017 Q4. I'm talking about CY Q4, calendar year Q4. And today they have about 44 crore subscribers. And this journey from 10 crore to 43 crores, the extra 33.5 crore subscribers are this low and middle income segment. But what is critical to see is penetration was there, but it's about the evolution. The smartphone was actually, in fact, in 2017, 18, 19, the smartphone is more of a jewel in their hands. And they would use it very sparingly for lack of a better word, for shining, right? Or show off. Even मेरा बड़ा phone है यार. With COVID and various other factors, today the blue collar workers evolved on usage of the smartphone. It is no longer a jewelry in his hand. It's actually a usage tool. And the evolution process moves from first using the smartphone for entertainment to using it for current events, daily hunt, etc., to moving and using it for commerce and other needs. Finally, white collar wants a career, blue collar wants a job. I just spoke about that. But why does that matter in creating online products? It matters hugely. Let me give you an example. As a white collar worker, since we are more interested in a career, we are willing to wait for a week or 10 days for that better job. The blue collar worker, when he loses his job, he wants the 500 rupees today. 500 रुपया आज चाहिए सर, कल चाहिए सर जॉब, मैं रुक नहीं सकता सर. Now, given this behavior, let's talk about what products are required for them. So if you give them a standard online classified, let's say, classifieds are Indeed, the various classified sites, Shine, Naukri, etc. The typical process is that as a candidate, you post a job, you see various listings of employers, and then you apply. Now, the blue collar worker's biggest pain point was, sir, they call it resume. सर मैं तो मेरा रेज्यूम अपलोड करता हूँ, लेकिन उसके बाद मुझे आज कॉल आएगा, 4 दिन बाद कॉल आएगा, मुझे नहीं पता है, मुझे तो जॉब कल चाहिए सर. With such a different behavior and urgency of job needs, you have to have a process or a product which actually gives him, if he is a qualified and relevant user, the ability to contact the employer ASAP. And that's crucial. That's what an online product needs to bring in. Can I contact the employer within a chat of 15 minutes? That's the onus on the online platform for the blue collar worker. Next, there's a general, 95% of our employers are SMBs, and there's a general perception that SMB paisa deta nahi hai India mein. I would say that's not true. I think the difference is, I think this perception was built by many of these SaaS companies which came in and said, "यार, sir, आप ये software लो और इस software में आप 10 चीजें कर सकते हो और automatically attendance देख सकते हो." और and the SMB guys like, देखो बॉस, मेरे को नहीं चाहिए ये, यार मेरे को basic software चाहिए. Give me Tally. Now they want QuickBooks. बट उससे ऊपर आप मेरे को बंदूक चाहिए, आप मेरे तोप मत दो. एंड द बिगर चैलेंज इज गिव मी तोप एंड वी से नहीं सर आप तोप लो यार, आप सिर्फ बंदूक यूज करो. द बिगर चैलेंज इज बस मुझे मार्केट में लोग नहीं मिलते यूज करने के लिए. मेरे यहाँ जो बंदा आता है, मोस्ट ऑफ देम नो टैली, मोस्ट ऑफ देम नो क्विक बुक्स. मेरे को आप अगर बड़ा टैक्स सॉफ्टवेयर दोगे तो मैं इस्तेमाल नहीं करूंगा. एंड इससे मेरा रेवेन्यू कैसे बढ़ने वाला है ये बताओ. बट द SMB employer will not stop from getting stuff that is truly required for his business. If you are a sari ka dukan, you will have those, you will spend on those gaddas, you will spend on the basic stuff. If you are a Xerox center, you will make sure that you have that stationery and that Xerox machine, how much ever it may cost. Similarly, for hiring, for an SMB employer, his daily billing or pain point is linked to a hire. अगर मेरा सेल्समैन भाग गया है आज, तो मेरा आज का साड़ी का सेल कम होने वाला है. अगर मेरा जेरॉक्स का पेज टर्नर आज भाग गया है, तो मेरा वहां पे 1,000 रुपया दिन का नहीं मिल रहा है मुझे. Then I will want to hire the guy ASAP. Because I know if I rely on friends, they are going to say, हाँ यार भेज देता हूँ, and it's not going to come, or it's going to come after 5 days, which is extremely unpredictable. So I think these were some of the things I wanted to leave everybody with. Today, as I mentioned, 42% of our SMBs are first-time India users. So India is changing truly at the grassroots level. Deep called me up and said, Kunal, why do you talk about the what is the market size? Before I begin speaking of the market size, let me qualify the answer by saying that there are multiple methodologies to size this market. And you will see various reports talking right from $5 billion net revenue pool, which is 2x the online taxi market, to $1 billion net revenue pool. And one of the biggest challenges is because the blue collar market is evolving. When we were founded in 2015 to today, the market itself has hugely changed in terms of the sheer size. And so what I'm going to give you is my best estimate. I would be lying if I tell you that I'm giving a most accurate estimate. So what we see is there are about 25 to 35 million online SMBs in India. Our internal data shows that about 15% of them today are already paying. So there's about 5 million paying SMBs in India. And that tantamounts to about $800 million to $900 million in market size, net revenue pool. So that's on market sizing. You meet me after a year, you'll see a very, very different market number. I think that's it. Any questions? Feel free to ask me. You have my email ID here. Please send me any questions if they were unanswered during this call. Over to you, Mr. Mohta and team.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Kunal. That was really very interesting. Now, actually, let's start. Just kind of picking on the market size itself. You put some number of some 23 crore blue collar workers in India. So just trying to understand how you get that number, because if I understand right, the total workforce in India is about 50 crores, around that number, right?
Yeah.
So how are you getting this 23 crore
blue
collar worker? Yeah.
So the 50 crore number is exactly right. If you go to the Ministry of Labor report, they break it down to agri, non-agri, and of the 50 crores, 25 crore is agri, 25 crore is non-agri, and of that 25 crore, 1.3 crore is white collar, which is you and I,
right.
And the rest 23.7 is blue collar. What happens is this 23.7 is not entirely blue collar, because there are some in this who are self-employed, some who are working. But in this segment, the self-employed start taking a job, and the guys who are taking a job are self-employed. So it's a fungible mix out there. But that's how we get the number. From the Ministry of Labor report of 50 crores, of which 25 is agri, and of the non-agri, 1.3 crores is white collar.
Sure. So I'm just trying to understand the lay of the land. So we have companies which are like, let's say, a TeamLease kind of company who take people on their own books and then, are doing staffing services for people. So that's outsourced, which also do blue collar and so on. I guess something like a security SIS, I guess, is also similar, right? They would have. And then there are companies like yourselves or Apna or Indeed. I don't know which, like where. So which are more like recruitment companies, right? Where you all are matching the needs of a buyer and a seller, so to say. So is there an intersection here, or are these like completely separate kind of uh, niches in the or verticals in this whole space?
There is an intersection. So between say a Quest team leads, typically they are our clients. How does that work? So a staffing company has two functions to do. One is first they have to hire,
Yes.
and then they put the guy on their role, right? So let's say there's a staffing company and they are hiring on behalf of Samsung. First they'll hire the guy, recruit the guy, and then that Samsung retail store guy will be on their role. So the hiring piece is something that is filled by us. Uh, traditionally, and even today, the staffing companies have feet on street where they do the hiring from, or they have telecalling databases where they do the hiring from, which is fairly old and archaic versus the hiring piece, which we new age startups do on a 100% automated process. So the overlap exists to the extent of hiring, and then the payrolling is done by the staffing company. Recruitment companies don't do the payrolling.
Yeah.
Today.
At least that's your business model today. But is there something that you think because I think you all also do a bit of training as well, or that's not yet done by you guys? You just matching.
Well, are you talking specifically Work India, or are you talking about recruitment, online recruitment
No,
companies in
I know
general?
Work India because I guess Apna talks about a bit of training as well, but I'm not sure what kind of training. But I'm just trying to understand. I'm just trying to put the lay of the land together just to understand the whole business, right? So,
Absolutely. So, so let me answer this specific question, then I'll explain the lay of the land also to you. So on training, there are two parts to training. There is job-related skilling, and then there is upskilling. Work India does the job-related skilling. We have a platform called Learn, through which we do that. And upskilling we don't do today. That's the first. On the lay of the land, the way to look at this industry is there is online and there is offline. Offline is this huge bulk of mom and pop recruiters, these small staffing companies, right, which exist all over. Within online, there is two pieces, and I'm talking the staffing companies and the recruitment companies. Right? I'm sorry, I wish I had a slide. I would have definitely put that up. And in recruitment, there is the classified, and then there is the new age players, which is Apna, Work India, etc., etc. And in the new age players, each one has their own niche. The industry is so big, Mr. Mohta, that Apna's focus is we are the LinkedIn for the blue collar, and so we are creating a professional network. Work India's focus is we are a recruitment ecosystem, right? So we will take all end-to-end control right from the candidate to the employer. For example, Apna focuses on the candidate, right? कि हम कैसे candidate को लेके आए. Whereas Work India says, भाई आप employer है, ये candidate है, हम पूरा उसका अंदर का जो engine है, we will stand for that. So different. Then there are some startups which have come in which focus only on large enterprises. So they say Swiggy, Zomato, we will focus only on those. So that's the broad lay of the land.
Right. Sure. So given where is your hiring happening the most? So you're talking about pretty large numbers per month. So which are the sectors where you are seeing the most amount of hiring coming from?
There are about 12 sectors which make up 70 to 80% of our hiring. Those 12 are right from housekeeping, security guard, retail sales, delivery boys, receptionist, office boy, back office, and a couple of others which I'm missing right now. So those are the key sectors which are our focus area.
So this is while you're saying call them sectors, maybe I meant slightly differently. So is e-commerce like, let's say, is Swiggy or Zomato kind of guys the key hirers, the new age e-commerce kind of guys the new hirers, or is actually across the board that you are seeing hiring?
Well, it depends. You know, you will first have to segment them into enterprises and SMBs.
Right.
Within SMBs, we see different segments hiring at different times, depending on the market conditions, including COVID.
Yeah.
So it keeps on changing. Right. Give me 1 second, because my battery is running low. Whereas in the large enterprise segment, there's 2 or 3 various buckets. One is food, then there is e-commerce, and then there is other. Other is online medicines, grocery, etc., etc. Today we are seeing, for the past 1 or 2 years, we are seeing a lot in food, which is typically Swiggy and Zomato. Will it continue? I think that's something we'll have to see. But today, as we see it, food is the maximum contributor.
Right. So if you know, there was a recent report that Manpower, with the global recruitment giant, they recently released a report on fourth quarter outlook, and they, of course, there I think they are more looking at white collar more than blue collar, from what I understand. But they are saying that the optimism on hiring has never been higher in like long period of time, and the kind of hiring that they are seeing and they are expecting to happen in the fourth quarter is pretty huge. So are you, is that a white collar phenomenon, or you are seeing that also, that in terms of number of requests that are coming in from, or number of people coming on your platform and wanting to do things, is there a big change are you seeing?
Mr. Mota, just give me 1 minute. There is some problem. My battery might die. Apologies. I'm just trying to fix it. Apologies. Do pardon me.
No, no problem. So, no, so just trying to understand, like, where, are you sharing the same optimism as, let's say, some of these large enterprises are talking about? Are you seeing that something similar from your SMB clients?
So from the SMB clients, actually, what we've seen is a lot of the conversion from offline to online. We don't see any net adds.
Right.
And in terms of that's steadily going up. To answer your question, of course, there's these events which change their hiring needs. So there's COVID 1, COVID 2, which affected SMBs more than large corporates.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, we are seeing a large part of our hiring chunk coming from the conversion from offline to online, not from a net ad. That's what we are seeing.
So this should corroborate with the fact that people are saying that the big is getting bigger, some of the smaller people are not able to kind of fight the COVID pain as much. So would you say that's the reason, or anything else you can attribute this to?
Let me see. Just going back to the data that we analyzed. I don't have data at the top of my head to corroborate that. However, I do know that what we were seeing obviously, which is restaurants band hai, was something that we were seeing on our platform also. We clearly saw a decline in hiring for cooks, chefs, etc., etc. So that was corroborated.
Right. In terms of churn, you talked about a lot of churn that happens at blue collar level because they would move. They don't care about career path as much. They care more about the profile, and if they got a better profile or they got a better salary, they'll move. So do you see a lot of churn in your platform?
We see a lot of churn typically in this industry. Yes. To give you some numbers, the average churn can go anywhere from 15 days, as short as 15 days to 10 months. And the range is high because it varies by profile. And on average, the churn is about 4 months. For example, a delivery segment, the churn is 4 months. And at max, it is 12 months. We don't see delivery boys who will stick around for more than 12 to 13 months just because of the backache problem. You cannot ride a bike for more than 12, 14 months, is what we have seen. But of course, it's our specific company specific data.
Sure. And in terms of wages, have you seen any improvement? Is it higher than the inflation that you've seen in terms of, or not?
Not yet, no.
And that is because there is enough supply of blue collar workers, is what you're saying?
I think what we've seen is two things. There's some, so we categorize them as hard to find sectors and easy to find sectors. Hard to find sectors are those where candidates, and when I say sectors, I mean job profiles. Like an office boy is a sector for us, and a security guard is a sector for us. So there are some sectors which are very high in demand from candidates. We have seen their salaries sticky and not going up at all. The sectors which are high in demand from the employers and low in demand from the candidates, telecalling, field sales, these we see salaries increasing. But again, here I don't see the base salary increasing. The base has been the same for the past 2-3 years. Incentives are higher depending on the need.
Right. Sure. And typically when I look at your model, so how do you kind of charge? So you're obviously charging the employer, not the guy who's the candidate. But what's your business model?
So there's 2-3 different models depending on the client's need. So we ask the client whether he wants a full stack model, as in does he want a direct hire in his office, or does he want to receive qualified calls, right? 80% of our employers select the qualified calls model, and then they are charged on a per call basis. Agar aapko call aaya, so you will have to pay. If you don't get a relevant call, you don't have to pay. If it's a full stack model, then we'll charge on a per hire basis, success basis.
Right. So that's like a 30, 40 rupee kind of per call kind of charge. Something
50
like
bucks per call, 50 bucks per.
Right. So, okay, so that's where your revenue model is. And that's where when you calculated the market size, you looked at that as a revenue, is it? When you said 870.
That's right. So what we did was, actually that's the basis of our math. There's a lot more, there's attrition levels, etc. But that was the basis of our math. That's
sure.
Right.
Okay. Fair point. So if I basically just coming back to the macro point, what I'm hearing from you is that while there may be a lot of shortage in, let's say, in IT at the white collar end and so on, blue collar shortages are still not there in the way, and hence the salaries are reasonably stagnant. from. So if you go forward, what is it that you looking at in terms of your addressable market? You just said that 1 year down the line, you will see this market size much bigger than what it is today, right? And so that is because you think more conversions will happen from offline to online, or what is your assumption based on over next 3, 4, 5 years?
The primary driver is offline to online conversion. We see a rapid change there.
And that's both for the employer and even the employees.
Both sides we are seeing. COVID has just changed the way their evolution of the use of smartphones. Just changed the way they behave with the smartphone.
Right.
Hugely.
Sure. Yogesh, over to you for any questions.
Thanks a lot, Sanjeev. Kunal, I had just a couple of questions. So since we started and we have seen a sort of a phenomenal growth in terms of number of employers, and also look at some of the simple statistics like number of app downloads, and within a short period of time we have achieved so many downloads. So first question is, what has worked out well for us and what has helped us to get us over here? And second question related to this and going ahead, right? And you could see entry of a lot more players in this market. So what are going to be the critical success factors in this industry? What are the areas, or what are the factors on which the competition will play out?
Got it. To answer your first question, why have we seen such significant ramp up? It's a function of both. It's a function of the market opening up, and it's also a function of the right product for the users. If you give them the same old traditional models, even traditional online models, they are not going to use the product. And if the candidates don't use the product, your employers are not going to come on your platform. Now, in terms of the market changing, typically the perception has been that Jio aa gaya, change ho gaya. I don't think that's entirely true. What we saw was, of course, Jio was a big factor, but then there was the Chinese handset, Oppo, Vivo, started coming in around the same time, offering cheap handsets. And third is there's also a social demographic change that we saw. Example, if you go to the slum areas today, you will see 4 or 5 clusters of homes having one Wi-Fi router outside, and they'll be shared by the 4 of them. And that's a very common phenomenon. And or when you go to a slum area, you will see many young guys sitting around a pole in a mandir, right, near a mandir. And that's not because they're religious. It's because there is a pole where the common Wi-Fi has been set up, the Sarvajanik Wi-Fi, and then they're using that. So these are some of the factors which have led to the sudden massive change in smartphone penetration. And then COVID came in and changed the behavior of the user with the smartphone. COVID ke pehle, they had penetrated the smartphone, but they're not using it like as it was a jewel. It was not a daily tool. COVID made it a daily tool. That's the difference. Okay. So what is the second question? So the first one was, why have we seen that surge? And I said it's industry and the right product, right, for this segment. How do you use, for example, today we are in about 12 different vernacular languages, which covers 85% of the spoken word in India. Second, how do you use audio video? If you give text to the blue collar worker, they are very averse to text. They don't even understand text. We have graduates who cannot read an entire sentence or a paragraph and comprehend it. So how do you give them audio, video, and those interventions in the product rather than text is what is crucial for the growth that we've seen.
So my second question was related to the success factor which is going to be matter going ahead. And if you look at, I hope I'm clearly audible.
Yes, you are. It's breaking a bit, but I can comprehend आप जो बोल रहे हो for sure.
Yeah. So going ahead now, if you look at the conventional or the physical the employment, the recruitment, it used to be a very fragmented market. So how do you think that online recruitment market is going to shape up in the blue collar or in the gray collar market? Would it be would it be a continue to be fragmented, or some of the players like you will keep on riding on the early mover advantage and keep, or that market would become more concentrated than the physical market?
I think going forward, what we can see, there's 2-3 things. This market is massive, and so there's going to be different plays in this market. So you will have 3 or 4 large dominant players. If you see the evolution of the food industry, right? There's Zomato is strong in geographically, they're strong in north, and Swiggy is strong in the south. Similarly, what you will see in the workspace, online blue collar workspace, you'll see dominant players by profile. So there'll be 7-8 profiles where one player will be dominant, and then there'll be 7-8 others where somebody else will be dominant. So that's the first one. And second, if you look at the history of consumer technology companies in India, the market is so massive. Typically, there are 2 or 3 players, right? It's whether it's food, taxi, it's grocery, etc., etc. And when the demand for the user is critical, for example, if when I mean the demand is critical, let's take the case of used cars, right? Where if I am selling a used car, I want to get the maximum out of it. So I will then post myself on 3 different platforms, my car. Versus ordering food, I'll typically go with just one platform. Similarly, jobs, you will find that for the need for getting a job immediately is very important for the user. So he'll go on 3-4 platforms. So you should expect about 3 or 4 platforms which will emerge as dominant platforms in this segment.
Fair enough. Quite useful. And third question I had, so as we understand, the government is trying to bring in a lot of reforms in the labor laws. There's or what is in planned is a simplification of the laws, and the corollary of that would be if the laws become simple, the enforcement level should go up. So I'm just trying to understand what it means for a company like us. So one of the things I could expect is maybe your employer who are currently working with you, since they believe the compliance level and the law enforcement would be much stricter, they would want you to do more than just giving a reference. Maybe provide a sample contract agreement, or maybe manage the attendance or payroll. So that's a specific question, but broadly also how this the labor reforms or the simplification of the labor laws is going to affect us.
We haven't seen the impact either ways on online platforms, either positively or negatively. So it'll be a bit early to say that. And finally, you have to remember that we are connectors. We are not taking any liabilities at our end, right? We are connecting 2 people. Yeah, there's no inventory on our part.
So, Sanjeev, you want to take over, or Deep?
Yeah,
you want to
sure.
keep it?
So one last question from my side, Kunal, which is that if you're looking at this again, go back to the industry, and we have had early players like the Naukri, but as you said, they are more classified players. Then you have players like yourself, Apna, and as you said, there are complementary players like a TeamLease where you are actually supplying probably to them as much, right? So although there may be some intersection, but that's how. So if I look at today, who are you disrupting? You are saying that you're creating your own ecosystem because the market is so large? But is there a place for some classified player today in the market?
Who we are disrupting is a mix. On the candidate side, it's typically the placement agent and the older online classified players where the technology has not caught up with the user's needs. On the employer side, we are replacing the referral channel. You know, the SMBs typically use referral, which is highly unpredictable. And the traditional channels, which is placement agents or the online classifieds, etc.
Right. Sure. And would you, over a period of time, look to get into some other verticals in this or some other kind of adjacent areas?
Yeah. Now, adjacency is something that we always look for. Our philosophy has been simple. एक segment पे focus करो, crack that segment, disrupt it, and then look for adjacency. So there's definitely areas we're looking at. There's a couple on the cards right now, but we need to be sure about which one we want to enter.
And that would be more through an acquisition route rather than just.
Yeah, a lot depends. You know, a lot depends on. You know, build or buy is always a question that you face when that opportunity face to you as a company.
Right.
So either we build ourselves or we buy. It'll be very specific to the situation question.
Sure. And
Yeah.
in terms of fundraising, so as you said, the gross margins are already pretty high, and you must be generating, you know, cash now. And most of your platform is technology, so operating leverage is obviously huge in here.
Operating leverage high.
So in that sense, do you need funding or, you know, to grow or maybe for acquisition, or how do you look at that?
Yeah. Well, so there's lights on and then there is significant growth, right? It's the hockey stick growth. For the lights on and the operations, recruitment operations, we don't need money per se. But for any opportunity acquisitions, anything we will need money, right?
Right.
Entering new markets. You'd be amazed that there are some developed markets where recruitment still is very, very archaic. Very archaic.
No, I see. So you've also, you know, from a website, so you're also going into other markets other than India, right, as well. So yeah, and that is done through right now organically.
We are considering that. We haven't entered the new markets, but that will be most likely done organically, at least to begin with.
Right.
Because you know, technology improvisation is simpler, Mr. Mohta, than you know traditional brick and mortar.
Right.
You're not buying assets here. You're transferring technology. It's simpler.
Sure. And you have an agreement with Swiggy today, or is it like it's just an informal relationship?
No, these are agreements. We have SLAs with Swiggy, Zomato, and just till about last month, 7,000 or 8,000 delivery boys were supplied by Work India to Zomato, amongst the largest.
Wow.
And there's a proper SLA. Yeah.
Right. Okay. No, because I guess Apna also talks about the similar ones, but I see more Swiggy on your thing than Zomato, but maybe I'm wrong. So you are saying both.
On our app, is that what you're saying? It depends. It's very so ours is a geo positioning app, right? So आप जिस location में है उसके आसपास जो job सबसे ज़्यादा job है वो दिखेंगे आपको.
Right.
So if you're in Mumbai and you're in say Bandra or in South Bombay, आपको वहाँ के दिखेंगे. Maybe if you're in Delhi, you'll see a very different set of jobs.
Right.
So that's how the app works.
Sure. Yeah. No, yeah. We didn't talk much about the app, but
the product. We would love to show you a product demo at some point. Yeah.
But I did kind of surf on your website, but as you said, it's geo positioning, so I see what it's available here. But it'll be, yeah. So I mean, I think it's a very interesting area, and I guess it's just the beginning. So it's great. I think the blue sky is like really blue, right, in that sense, right? So
it's amazing. Yeah, it seems almost like the Wild West. It's just there's so much to do. And the blue sky is just limitless. There's no doubt.
Right. So Kunal, thank you so much for spending time, and wish you really all the best. And we'll be
thank you to the BNK team. Yeah. BNK team it's been a very smooth setup process. So thank you to the entire team, to your team, Mr. Mohta. Such a pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks, Kunal.